I saw this unfolding in real time. Was Pat going to get his green screen up before the show started? Missed it by about a half second. So we saw how the sausage gets made now, Pat.
Yeah, well, this is a new computer. So
you got a new computer?
I didn't get a new computer. I took my Mac and I hooked it up to everything like 5 minutes beforehand because I was like, oh, yeah, my computer's going to crap out again. Got to get this sorted. So that's why things are kind of like, and that's also why I'm looking down because I'm normally looking up here, but
I like to envision someone turning in the stream. Gretch is looking on the ceiling. Crane's looking on the ground. I have my monitor over here, and everyone's like, will you just look at me?
Look at me.
So wait, I thought so that your internet issues you think are related to the computer?
Not the computer is just like it's on its last legs. I realized that. So I have my work computer kind of hooked up to this like I have a home office set up, and I'm realizing my company had put on like a VPN and like firewall BS, so the computer's like barely usable now. So I think I got to figure that out.
All right. Well, I hope you make it through the episode. I was listening to our pal Matt Jones over at Rotoviz. I was listening to his golf pod earlier, and he had a StreamYard issue there where he dropped out for about 30 seconds. It was like, I feel you, Matt. I feel you. I do blame StreamYard. I continue to blame them. Welcome to Ship Chasing. Ben Gretsch, Pat Crane, Pete Overzet. We're gonna draft tonight on Underdog. I figure we can talk through some kind of ADP shifts and stuff that are going on now. I'm going to share this link in our Discord. I see a bunch of you guys are members right now, so you guys will have access to this. If you guys haven't signed up yet, we've been having a lot of fun in the Discord. You can become a member through the YouTube channel, and then it syncs up with your Discord account and unlocks that channel. And I just shared the link here. And have you guys been doing any drafting of late?
I have not. I'm super excited to do this actually because we know that I can't do Underdog drafts and I've not been doing it, and it seems like you guys have a little bit. So I think this is going to be like you're talking about ADP shifts. I'm curious who's moving. I want to know these things. So this will be fun.
Yeah,
Ben, if someone that you like is moving up, are you gonna be like super pissed that you?
Yeah, I kind of am. Yeah, I am almost certainly. Yeah.
But then, hey, if someone's dropping that you like, at least you didn't have to reach for them before.
No, this is not a BBM. This is a private $5 draft. And for all of you who watched the randomizer show on Thursday, it is a fast draft. I triple checked. I will not secretly get you into more slow drafts. I learned my lesson.
Was that part of your promotional deal with Underdog that you've got to sort of trick the people into slow drafts?
Yeah, they're like, signups for our $3 slow drafts are a little low. What can you do, Pete? And I said, I have just the idea how to get you in. And now everyone massively resents me whenever they're on the clock in a $3 slow draft with no upside of winning more money.
Was it worth it, Pete?
It was totally.
Wait, this says Miles Gaskin is moving. I have to assume he's moving up, right? Or is he moving down? I don't even know which direction he's moving.
I assume up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely moved up like right after the draft, but I feel like he's been kind of locked into the late 4th, early 5th from what I've seen. Is that what you've seen, Pat?
I haven't really been drafting. I just did a slow draft actually. I had my first 2 picks from the 111 today. I grabbed Cam Akers and then AJ Brown. But yeah, that's really the only one I've done. That's a Best Ball Mania. And that's my first Best Ball Mania. So kind of just dipping my toes in the water right now.
We need 2 more. If we don't fill this in the next second or so, I will post the link into the chat here. Also, as Nick says here, I didn't see this because I was on the show, but Gretch mentioned you have a new Stealing Signals dropped. What's the topic, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to write, but it was I haven't been writing enough either, but it was more like, because I haven't been drafting, it was more theoretical. It was about this long view concept I was talking about a lot in Signals last year for people who are reading it last year. We were talking in our little chat a little bit earlier in the week about a situation that came up in one of my dynasty leagues where I cut Van Jefferson, and some people were like, hey, like a handful of people were like, "Hey, I would have traded you a future pick for him."
I didn't say it, but I would have.
But it seems like only a 6th or a 5th. I don't even know if I buy it.
Yeah.
We only said he'd give a 5th. Like, that's a lot easier in hindsight when everyone says it. If you just see the notification come through, Van Jefferson for a 5th, like, he rejects that. Let's be honest. But apparently a 5th or I did offer for a 4th and got rejected for the team that was like seemed like the best fit for Van Jefferson. But anyway, I thought it was interesting, and it kind of got me thinking about this concept of like the long view of players. For Jefferson, he was already a really bad bet coming into the league other than draft capital. He was a 5-year college player, never even got close to a breakout season. We didn't like him last year. No one did. I mean, he didn't go high in rookie drafts or anything. And then he kind of played a decent amount as a rookie. He actually was splitting the wide receiver 3 role with Josh Reynolds the first couple weeks and then lost snaps right away. Couldn't beat out Josh Reynolds. Got some playing time later on, had a decent playoff game, but he caught no passes in their first playoff game, and then he caught like 6 balls in their second playoff game. Anyway, no one's really that high on Van Jefferson. His ADP is like wide receiver 90 or something. But I think it's interesting to consider, even at this really early stage of his career, I think this guy is completely done. Like, I mean, I think I can have conviction in that because I'm willing not to just look at his first year, but the long view going back into college is part of the reason I was so high on A.J. Brown last year. The conviction that not just that his rookie year was so good, but with his profile, we have a pretty good sample at that point. And I think fantasy players tend too much to just lock into that first year of results. But with Jefferson, it's 2 separate, uncorrelated red flags. He was a really bad prospect.
Sorry, real quick, guys. We're on the clock here at 104. Sorry to cut you off, Ben. We got Henry, Kelsey, Kamara, Tyreek Hill. You guys have a preference?
I think Kamara for me.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right,
That's
we'll
what
do
I'm
Kamara.
starting to lean towards.
Sorry, Ben. Finish your thought.
Well, yeah, I was just saying two uncorrelated things. One, very bad prospect. We already know it's a bad hit rate. But then he gets draft capital and actually gets some opportunity from that draft capital. And then he has a really bad rookie year, which is typically a very bad signal of future production. I mean, people like to say it's just his rookie year, but like he also had the draft capital and high picks tend to break out earlier because they get opportunity early, and he wasn't good. So, yeah, I think those are 2 different things, and they're both project poorly. And then when you compound them, like, I don't know how we even expect this guy. Like, I think his upside at this point is like he has a 500, 600-yard season at some point in his career. And I don't even know that he's going to get that. And then the Rams added players this year at the position. So I don't know. That I was writing a little. He comes into play in the stealing signals today, but I was curious, Pat, what your thoughts were on him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the teams that would have been happy to draft him instead of, whatever scrub I took instead. Just because he was a 2nd-round pick and they let Josh Reynolds go after the year. And I think Tutu Atwell's straight up too small to play a full-time role. He's sub 150 pounds. So
that did still add him. Blows my mind. Sub 150.
Yeah. And I didn't know this at the time, but Josh Norris had a Rams beat writer on his pod, and she was saying that she thinks Jefferson's locked in as the wide receiver 3 right now. And one of the things that Fantasy Douche has talked about is like one of his articles from way back in the day is that draft capital tends to bring opportunity even more in year 2 than in year 1. So if they're ever going to kind of give Van Jefferson the chance, it's probably more likely this year than last year even, and we have an improvement in quarterback play. And this is a best ball league where you're not going to have to put Van Jefferson in your lineup. If he has that 500-yard season this year, it's actually somewhat useful for a contending team. And rosters in this league are 30 spots deep. So anyone with a pulse is going to have some interest for people. And there's no waiver wire. So, he had a pulse and now he's unavailable.
Yeah. And I get the idea that probably I like definitely was a missed opportunity to not get to the trade. And I think he should probably be rostered, but there's some other guys that are available that didn't generate that interest. And another guy I didn't cut was Quez Watkins, who I think wouldn't have generated any kind of post-cut reaction.
He wouldn't.
And the reason I did that was Watkins was drafted after John Hightower last year. They're both deep threats. Hightower got the early opportunity. He was the earlier pick, but he didn't have as good of a profile. Watkins had that type of late round profile where it's like, okay, he's a little interesting. Day 3 pick, but 3-year early declare, very productive from a market share perspective. And he didn't play a lot until Hightower got opportunity and sucked. And then he played late, and he did a couple things in a very small sample late in the year. So he's a guy that I actually like to have potential. I mean, still a very low probability hit, but like the book isn't written yet because late round picks need some time. Like Sean's shown this in his Sean Siegel in his wide receiver breakout series. Later picks break out later. And the fact that Jefferson already got in the field and wasn't very good to me doesn't bode well, especially with his prospect profile. Now, to be fair, I was never high on him. The only reason he's on my roster is a throw in at a midseason trade. But
right.
I think Watkins is a guy that is worth holding to see in year 2 more than Jefferson. Do you disagree with that?
Well, Watkins, he is a fake early declare. He's a 4-year player. He's a redshirt junior. So I'm like not as high on Watkins, and all right, guys, we're on the clock. I would say
we got good receiver options.
Ooh, Waller. I love the receiver options too. I'm good with those two.
I go with Waller and then try to grab someone on the wrap. Right, we're not
Waller.
Yeah, looking at the board. Yeah, we definitely won't get one of these 3 here.
That's okay.
You guys want to try the Waller build?
Hey, Rob. Yeah, let's do the Waller build.
Okay.
He should be gone by now, right? Is he going this late typically?
No, this is about
ADP
25. Yeah. It's a little 3-4 picks after ADP. It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
We love the one early tight end in best ball, man. It's good.
Yeah.
I got Mark Andrews in the 6th of a Best Ball Mania the other day. I'm going to keep taking him at that.
I love that.
Price.
I love that. Yeah.
I've actually seen, despite like all of the insanity about Kyle Pitts ADP, I've seen him go down like the late 6th of a couple Best Ball Manias. I feel like it's chilled out some. It seems like he's all over the place.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Or maybe I'm just like conditioned by how insane it was before.
So we are on the clock here after Clay picks. I mean, there's the potential if we want to load up on Saints. We could also go CEH, and then we got some more running back options, wide receivers.
Anything, I want to see what Clay does here.
He goes CEH.
Yeah, let's get Michael Thomas and do kind of a Saints.
I love this Saints.
Yeah. I didn't even want to say it because I was like, Clay, don't ruin it.
I didn't want to say it either. I love this.
Yeah, I love it.
Because even if, I mean, obviously we're now heavily in the market for Jameis Winston, but even if we didn't get him, these two guys have shown in prior seasons. Obviously, 2020 wasn't a great year. A big part of what I wrote about this year was that people focus way too much on the last season. I think Michael Thomas is a good example of that. He's way too cheap, I think. I mean, these two guys showed in the past that they can both just basically dominate this offense. And I think that could very well be the case in 2021, even without Breeze. In Thomas's case, he's going to lose catches without Breeze, but he broke the receptions record. Like he could lose 30 catches from his 2019 numbers and still be a 110 catch guy. He had like 145, 150 catches, whatever he had. So, I like him at that price for sure.
Hang on, Brock Brothers. I need you to explain this. You have 145 underdog shares of Kyle Pitts already in mid-May. Brock, am I reading that right? I mean, I think I have like 15 drafts under my belt, but 145? That's crazy.
That's a lot of drafting.
Good Lord.
I like this build a lot. I mean, Michael Thomas, you're getting an insane discount on him. And also, Ben, one thing too, Winston is like not a hot commodity in these. Like he is pretty much free. People are grabbing him as their third quarterback or to complete the stacks.
But one of these guys is going to take him in the 10th round.
Yeah, probably.
They'll spite us. Yeah,
that's all right, dude. We'll just grab Taysom and get the starter.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Best Ball Mania, Jameis is kind of nice, right? I mean, in a 12-team league, you might be getting a little cute to prioritize Jameis, but Jameis has some upside in him. He starts the whole season. Like,
oh, I agree with that. And the thing I was saying about Thomas, like we all agree targets are earned, and Thomas earns targets. He did it with Bridgewater, and he did it very briefly with Taysom even. And then Jameis, for all his faults, he's actually, I remember the Hermsmeyer article on him a couple of years ago at 538. Like, he was showing the different depths and everything. He's actually a very accurate passer in the intermediate range, in like the short to intermediate range. He's not very accurate down the field. In fact, he's significantly below average, but still winds up having like a pretty high average depth of target. And maybe he won't as much in this offense, but having pretty good passing efficiency because he's good in this like mid to intermediate range. I don't know. I think Thomas can still rack up tons of targets from him. It kind of feels like a really good fit. Like, Jameis is gonna.
I mean, Chris Godwin was awesome with Jameis. I haven't quite got the
right.
You know, like
and Michael Thomas was great with Taysom too. Like, I don't even see a lot of paths to Michael Thomas not being a nice bet at that third round cost.
Yeah, he just had a high ankle sprain. Like, I mean, he had a significant injury that ruined seasons. Guys try to come back and they're not as explosive. He couldn't get open as much. Well, guess what? He was dealing with a leg injury. Like, he's going to be healthy. He's a good buy right now, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Although I did just sell him in Dynasty, but it was in that quarantine auction league where I'm like tanking really hard. I sent Michael Thomas and a second, or Michael Thomas and a late third for T. Higgins and probably a late second.
So coming up here, we have running back, wide receiver, tight end. Probably too early for us with quarterbacks. No premium stacks we need to fill. We're probably good on tight end because we drafted Waller. That leaves us with running back and wide receiver: Carson, Thielen, Dobbins, Lockett, Kupp, Jacobs, Hunt. A little gross there. Any love for this? Is definitely a slide for Carson as he just goes.
This feels like the draft to just start hammering receiver, right?
Yeah, let's hammer some receivers, man.
Where are you guys at on Thielen? He's definitely one of those guys I feel like I'm plugging my nose when I draft, but I don't know if it's just because of an age bias.
Yeah, I mean, it's age. I refuse to call it a bias. I mean, guys fall off all the time.
So you're with me on not being too excited about taking
I'm
Thielen
not too
here?
excited about Thielen. I'd rather take Higgins.
So I like Higgins. Lockett isn't a terrible pick there, but yeah, I would definitely take Higgins.
I would prioritize. I would prioritize Lockett by ADP.
Do you think there's a chance we get Higgins on the way back?
Yeah, there's a gap of 10 in ADP.
All right.
And I should also say, on my screen, I have loaded in the ETR ranks. So the people.
I didn't see that. Yeah, 61. Okay. I mean, people will probably take him now, but whatever.
We will see. People love.
we start talking about him, then we're probably not going to get him, but
it's all right.
Lockett's man, Russ is a good pick right now. I just took him in. The one draft I'm doing is the Fantasy Cares Eliminator draft. I took him in the late first round. It's a super flex and definitely one where you want to target quarterbacks early. It's the way it's an eliminator, you value stability. But I was surprised, Russ. I picked him at 16th. It's a 17-person draft. But like, he was really good for the first half of last year. I understand that they fell off. He was bad, but he set like a career high in interceptions. He also set a career high in completion percentage, in something close to either pass attempts or yards. Those were close to his career highs. Like, yeah, a lot of that was front loaded in the season, but like his end result last year was actually pretty solid. People, I think, are just too tied to that late season kind of faltering. I don't think he's going to throw 13, 15 interceptions again. He usually doesn't. He still ran well last year. Actually, had his best rushing season.
They're not going to throw it all. They probably throw one.
But who are they going to run with? Carson.
Oh, there goes Higgins. They can't talk about these guys.
No, you can't talk about them. And also Willis, I see you out there from the 2-hole setting up your Viking super stack. Willis did this on our Monday.
Wow, look at
my
that.
Monday best ball stream.
Jeez.
All right, should we snipe him on Cousins right here?
That's right. We just go full chaos after getting sniped on one pick.
We just lose our shit. All right, so what are we doing?
So it is.
Oh, Pat, you said you're still stoked on Claypool. I'd do that.
Yeah, I'm good with Claypool.
Yeah, I'm good with Claypool there. The RBs, this is a pretty gross territory.
What's ADP have for who was at 50 something in wide receiver ADP that they don't have very high? You can take Claypool.
Galladay.
Yeah, I don't want him. Ayuk is way down. 62 ADP. They're lower on him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
I think I would take Ayuk there actually over Claypool, but I'm fine with the pick for sure.
It is. It's funny you say that because I do realize I haven't been getting a lot of Ayuk, and it's probably because ETR has him so far down.
Yeah, they're worried about the volume. I think of the offense.
Yeah,
I believe that's what Silva was saying.
Which is fair. It's fair. If Lance comes in, it might look a lot different.
Oh, there goes Ayuk next.
Are we influencers, guys? Do these guys seem nicer once we say their names?
I mean, I'm just looking at the results. As soon as we say a name, the guy goes the next pick. So,
no Gaskin love.
Dave, I still have some Gaskin love. I've been taking him in mid fifth in some drafts. He's not a guy I go out of my way to get though.
So he was so good last year, but it's like they try. Like all the rumors are that Miami was the reason that Denver traded up to get Javonte Williams. Like they were going to take him. Teams still see these guys as 7th round picks. To your point earlier about how draft capital extends, he was great, but he's not going to get treated like he was great. I mean, we are going to be more optimistic about him as fantasy players than the Dolphins are.
Yeah, and I could see Malcolm Brown getting goal line work.
Yeah, they'll do something like that. It'll be annoying
because Gaskin was not good at the goal line. That was the biggest weakness of his game.
Yeah. I do think Savon Ahmed's a really nice late round pick, and he's pretty much free in these.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of those, it'll be interesting to see how some of those running backs get pushed up, but like a lot of those handcuffs too that we were targeting last year, like say a Darrington Evans, like he's pretty much free in these.
Yeah.
And I don't think much has changed for him.
Not really. No, I mean, I guess what they have. Well, you know what changes is that they signed Brian Hill.
Oh, they did? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they have Brian Hill.
Okay. So he doesn't have like that clear path to a bell cow role like he did last year if Henry went down.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's not. And yeah, Brian Hill has proven to be kind of a competent fill-in.
He's a professional running back. Yeah.
He's been on the take
backup
cast,
running back. But
he's been on the take cast.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, let's see here. Let's see what kind of constructions people are working with here. Silas does take Pitts there in the 6th. Chris going with the classic FFPC grinder, 2 running backs, and then hammering the other positions. Belair, 4 wide receivers, Allen to complete his dig stack, and he gets Gaskin there in the early 6th. I like that a lot.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
What do you guys think about Allen over Mahomes to complete that stack? I feel like that's aggressive.
My thing is I would do it in Best Ball Mania, I think, for sure. In an individual 12-person league, I think it's probably unnecessary.
I agree. I would have at least, I think, tried to get Allen on the way back, given that you had Mahomes' cover.
And Mahomes did almost make it back. And that's
Mahomes
nice.
did make it back. I mean, Eric could have skipped Allen in the 3rd and taken Mahomes in the 4th.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And then, Phil gets the Mahomes Tyreek at not too bad of a price there.
Yeah, I mean,
that's nice.
Right there. You like that. You'd rather have the Mahomes pick around later with Tyreek. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We are going to be picking here in 3. Some things if we want to consider. If we do want to go quarterback, we could go Russ Wilson to Lockett if we want to prioritize a stud quarterback basically after Herbert. What?
I think we're taking Russ. You see Ben's reaction?
I was just talking him up. It sounds good. No, I don't think we have to take him here. But I forgot we had Lockett. I forgot we had Lockett until you mentioned the stack, and then I got excited.
I mean, I honestly don't mind it. I can't think of anyone here on the board where I'm like, man, I really want that guy instead.
Me neither.
Let's do it. Let's get that premium stack. I've been drafting a lot of Best Ball Mania teams like this where I have a tight end, and a quarterback through 6 or 7 rounds. I've really liked those builds.
Yeah, because then you can go 2 quarterback, 2 tight end.
Yep.
I love the one running back, the one elite running back build that we've got too. Leone had an article about how he was like rethinking a little bit what he was going to be doing. He's going to be mixing in some more one elite running back, mixing in some more true zero running back builds, and going even more fragile with his hyper fragile builds. That kind of geared me up to do some of these drafts, because I don't find the hyper fragile builds, especially where you're doing like borderline robust running back builds where you're going like 4 running backs all pretty early. I don't find those builds fun.
I don't like them. I can stomach a 3 early, but like once you go 4 in the first 7 rounds, it feels like there's too much opportunity costs elsewhere.
It's way more. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's way. Oh, we're on the clock.
Oh, sorry.
Let's go to Javonte if he's still here.
So Javonte's here. There's Edmonds, Javonte.
Javonte's the upside play. Javonte's that Miles Sanders from rookie year type play.
I don't mind that. Boyd is the other one that I would look at, but yeah, I think Williams is fine.
The other thing about that, I mean, and this is like the same story every year, but when you're taking that 4th running back early, I mean, that is such a juicy range for the wide receivers, rounds 3 through 6. Like there's so many good wide receivers there.
The one thing I would say that we're missing here, and the reason I was saying Boyd is especially because we went keeping tight end early, only having 3 receivers at this point, I think is, I don't know what Sean article you're talking about. I read his one on,
I was talking about Leone's article.
I was reading. I read Sean's the other day where Denny interviewed him, and he made some really good cases for essentially overvaluing this idea that because wide receivers are volatile, we can just make up for it with quantity. You still need upside, and if you stack really good ones, they're still volatile, but they have higher ceilings, and your upside is higher. You're not going to replace 30-point games with 15th round receivers. You're going to get usable games. You're going to get a couple 15-pointers, but you're not going to get 30-point games. So anyway, that would be the one thing that concerns me about our build so far. Let's
handle wide receiver. We're ready to do that. We don't need a tight end right now. We don't need quarterback. We don't need another running back for a while.
Yeah. That tied into what you were saying about the robust build, though, is like to win these best ball manias, to really get upside. Even if you're doing hyper fragile, I like, obviously I haven't drafted really any of them, but I kind of like the idea of doing hyper fragile, but not doing it all in the early rounds. Like I remember this from Leone's draft. Some of the ones that did well were like still staying at 4 running backs or maybe even 3, but only having like 2 early. And so you go 1, 2, you start hammering receiver, you still get that upside, the high variance upside of those good receivers. And then you have to hit on the late running back, obviously. But this is a best ball mania draft we're talking about. If you take like a 9th or a 10th round running back as only one of 4, and that guy is good, you're going to freaking win the thing because you have so much firepower at receiver.
Yeah.
And I'll put a button on that too. I know all of us retweeted it, but if you haven't read Denny's back and forth with Sean, go read it. I mean, if you've been watching the show or reading Sean, it's all things you have heard, but it's just so perfectly packaged and put together in one place that it was a really fun read. And even if you're a robust RB guy, I think it will challenge some of your pre-existing beliefs on that.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, the way Sean put stuff is just, it's just so well, he just articulates things so well. He's talking about, taking the best real life player is like a tiebreaker, which is kind of obvious, but generally something that I don't think we think about enough.
Yeah.
So he also was talking about how I think with the whole zero running back thing, people get really bogged down on like when you took your first running back. And he's just like making the point, a running back tight end start will often have more in common with kind of the classic zero running back principles than someone who goes, wide receiver, and then takes running backs through, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're hammering running backs through there, you're probably not actually buying into a lot of the principles of zero running back, even though you started wide receiver, or maybe even went 3 wide receiver to start, which is kind of what we're doing here. We went running back, tight end, but we're going to be,
I think, that was a great point. I think what he sort of mentioned was really hammering receiver after that point, though. And where we've diverted a little is to go Russ and Javonte. I think we're not quite as in common with zero RB at this point with only 3 receiver picks through 7, right?
And I will make the same comment I made for on the Belair stack. Same for us. I think the prioritizing the Russ to Lockett stack is way more of a necessary move in the big large field thing. I think in this 12, to Ben's point, we could have hammered wide receiver and gotten by in a 12 team with just piece together 3 quarterbacks, Jameis, 2 other flyers, kind of thing.
Yep. That's probably the mistake right there. And I was the one who got excited about it.
And you look at our premium guys, like you look at this Winston, Roethlisberger, Carr. We could have stacked all of those guys all for cheap and easily pieced it together with those 3 if we needed to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But in the best ball mania, I do really want, because you just want.
Let's go Visca.
You want to go Visca?
Yeah,
let's
obviously.
Do it.
And also roll the clip.
Yeah, might as well. Welcome, guys. When Visca is saying shh there, he's saying don't tip your pick in the 9th round here. Let's just keep playing the clip until we're on the clock again.
It's totally Antonio Brown, obviously. Look at our ranks.
Why is Antonio Brown ranked so high in these ranks?
I don't get the Antonio Brown stuff.
That's just Leone trolling us, I think.
I think it is. Well, here's the deal, Phil. We're capped out on emotes on the Ship Chasing channel. Once we get more subs, I can unlock more emotes. I guess I could get. Is the Davis one still in there? I guess Davis can get the boot for LaVisca. Sorry, Davis.
Can we recruit Davis to help us get subs? We're gonna boot Davis unless he can get us the subs necessary to keep him.
Considering that's true, because he was already horrified. He was horrified that he had his own emote anyway. So.
Oh, okay. So he won't fight to save it.
All right. It sounds like we're in agreement that we do not want Antonio Brown. Wide receiver is drying up here quickly.
It's got to be Pittman or Hardman, I think.
I'm with you on those.
I like Hardman. I was digging that.
Let's reach on Hardman here by ADP. Let's just get him.
Boom.
I do think,
the thesis for Hardman last year is the same as this year.
It's the same as you want to talk about a guy that hasn't changed for. It's better.
Yeah.
And people don't want him now.
Yeah. So what? Watkins is gone. Demarcus Robinson is another year older. They drafted a guy named Cornell Powell. That's what we're dealing with here with
Cornell
Hardman.
Powell has no production to his name. He's old. There's nothing.
The slight issue is, part of the thesis last year was Hardman was coming off a 21-year-old rookie year, and you'd expect the opportunity to maybe increase. Now that we have a second year of them sort of keeping him in this reserve role, I think you can be a little bit more concerned about the potential for that to increase. But they were always going to need to stop treating him like Tyreek's backup last year, and then the ceiling would be monstrous. Hopefully that happens this year,
Yeah, and he did come in the league super, super young. And he is super, super fast. And he has actually been efficient. His yards per route run so far have been good. He hasn't been great, but he's been good. He hasn't been bad to the point where it really makes sense why he's been kept off the field. I'm sure he's running the wrong route sometime or doing stuff that's driving him crazy, just given how little playing time he's actually gotten. But if he gets more playing time, it stands to reason, given his speed, given his efficiency thus far, that he could, given the quarterback play most of all, that he could actually be pretty productive.
And even last year, late in the season, it might have been even in the playoffs, right? Didn't he have that fumble? And then they went right back to him at the goal line, a little bubble screen there, trying to get him back involved, where we all just assumed, all right, he's never seen the field again after it. And it's he's still a part of what they want to do.
He had a rough playoffs, though. He also was the guy who jumped off sides on that field goal that led to one of Tampa's first half touchdowns. Just no need for it. He wasn't going to be blocking this random field goal in the second quarter, but he gave him a first down.
Chris does take your guy Rashad Bateman there in the 10th round, Pat.
I think that's probably right about where I think he should go. In PPR, I would be, I think maybe 9th round I'd be interested, but here in half PPR, I feel like that's about the earliest that probably makes sense. What's his ADP? Is it more like 11th, 12th?
Let's see here. ADP for Bateman, 129.5.
Okay.
All right, we are 3 picks away here. 1 quarterback, 1 tight end. We now have 5 wide receivers, 2 running backs.
5 receivers, but I mean, in fairness, Claypool, Visca, Hardman, I'm excited about it, but it's a lot of upside shots. Claypool obviously had his snaps cold a little. I'm most excited about him, but you can still be concerned because he had his snaps cold a little bit late last year. I think he can still hammer a receiver.
Who?
Mims.
Yeah. What do you like Mims over Gabriel Davis?
I was looking at Davis.
I like Mims over Davis just because the target share is so wide open there.
By ADP, there is a pretty big gap here. I mean, Mims is 146.
What's going on at tight end? Is there
Gesicki, your boy, Evan Ingram, and then you get into a little bit of a mess. Running back.
Skip these bums.
We've been reaching. It's fine, but Mims is generally going more like 11th, 12th.
Okay.
Someone will take him now after I do that.
I mean, your boy Rager's there too. I mentioned him in my write-up today. It kind of got myself a little bit excited about him because the point I was making was sort of this long view thing. Rager was hurt last year. It's a wide open receiving core. Even with Devonta Smith on the roster, like there's room for him to play. It wasn't a very good situation for any receivers last year. It's still not great. Obviously, Jalen Hurts isn't going to throw a ton. They have a mobile quarterback. But, like, we can look back at what we were excited about in his prospect profile last year and tell ourselves pretty easily that he still has skills. Some guys do bust, but there are plenty of guys who struggle early and then break out. I mean, the 2 I referenced today were Devonta Adams and Tyler Boyd, who were completely free after 2 years because they were so bad in their first 2 years. And then they became legitimate, long-term, high-end NFL wide receivers. And they had that in their prospect profile before.
Yep.
So like keeping that long view and knowing, hey, we still like this guy as a prospect, even though he had a disappointing first year, can make some excuses for what happened with him last year. That whole team was terrible last year.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's let Ben get his guy here,
No, I like Mims too.
You made a good point, and we should defer to Ben.
I think you made a better point about Mims.
Ben, you out-argued me.
You just want Rager.
I still love Mims. Let's do it.
Oh man.
Now we get the double. We're loading up here on 2nd-year wide receivers, which has always been a good strategy when looking for.
This is such a fun team. Oh man,
it's such a fun team.
I mean, again, like the Russ pick was probably a little reach, but it's nice to have him at this point because we just loaded up on such fun receivers in the middle rounds where we would have probably needed to grab a QB here.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't mind it. And it didn't feel like at the time there were any wide receivers that were really calling my name. So,
yeah. And again, in this kind of draft room too, where I think relative to a Best Ball Mania, this is going to be more wide receiver heavy. And I mean, it dries up here real fast. I mean, you're getting to true flyers here pretty quickly.
Yep. Yeah. Let's put I'd say we don't need to put him in the queue, but at this point, Zach Wilson looking like maybe our 2nd quarterback.
I mean, that's the nice thing with this bill. I mean, there's so many different options we can go. You can go Roethlisberger. You can go Winston.
Oh, yeah, Winston. Jameis. Yeah, that might be better actually.
And we can get we can throw Carr in there. You can't snipe us, guys. You can't snipe us on all of these.
There's at least a little uncertainty with Winston starting, right? And we still wouldn't be dead if Taysom started if we had Kamara and Thomas because they could still be productive. I mean, you can make a case for going with any of these guys is sort of what I'm saying.
Yeah. The other guy, and again, this is a little bit more of a Best Ball Mania thing, but I would definitely be putting Gerald Everett on our radar. I love the 2nd tight end just being stacked with your.
I like
with one of your quarterbacks.
Ferkser here.
That's a great call.
Here, but yeah, with the stack, yeah.
If you're going to invest in Russ early, and he's going to be, he needs to be a top 3 QB, and if he's going to be a top 3 QB, Gerald Everett's probably going to have a good year.
That's a good point.
Ferkser too. Yeah, we can play the ADP game a little bit here with the tight ends because there's no one, jumping out a ton. I think we also could head back over to running back. I actually think this is, we wouldn't do it with a Javonte team, but this is a pretty good price for Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah.
We just can't do it.
I actually ran into that spot in another draft too, where I take a Javonte and then it's like, of course, when you take him, Melvin Gordon's the screaming running back value.
Yeah,
man. I don't disagree, but I didn't expect drafters to be this clearly favoring Javonte because I don't know. I kind of feel like Gordon's going to start in the beginning of the year, and people love to prioritize early season opportunity. Like Melvin Gordon's
sharp room.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon's still on a pretty good contract though, and teams don't mind making rookies wait a year. It's just we're seeing it less and less, but it can happen.
I think he could be cut. Silva keeps
Gordon?
saying he's going to get cut. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd
be interesting. What do you guys think here? I think both Latavius for continuing. No, sorry, we have Kamara. I think Hines is.
Wait, what about Rager? Is Rager still here? Come on. If he's in the 12th round, Ben made some great points.
Is Rager still here?
I think he went. Okay. Damn it.
You're just kind already.
When does Zach Wilson go?
Hines.
You're gonna make case. Let's go Hines. Let's get that running back sorted.
The reason I'd say we wait on quarterback is because we know we only need one more, and we know we have multiple nice stack options.
Yeah, I'm totally fine waiting on Q as well. I agree with that. I think RB is a good option here.
Are there any other guy? Oh, of course.
No, Singletary is still way too cheap.
I
Singletary I like.
Pick.
Why? Why is he so cheap? He's a lead back. Zach Moss is there too, but Singletary plays a lot.
The pendulum has swung way too far on that. Singletary was going early 5th in these last year. And again, how much has changed?
Talk about a situation that hasn't changed.
Why did we talk about it now? We should have just waited.
God, sorry.
Come on. I'm doing it where I'm like, there's no way he doesn't take Singletary.
Do you want to cuff Madison?
There's no one here. Let's just take Zach Wilson or Gerald or something. I don't know.
All right, we'll just
Zach Wilson.
Take a receiver. Oh yeah, Everett's.
We're just gonna take Everett by 8, whatever. Yeah. 20. You guys are sick. We go Hines Singletary here. My goodness,
you guys are
disgusting.
Think for yourselves.
That Singletary was way above ADP. I thought it was okay to talk about him because he was 40 spots down there. I didn't think Zank S73 could act that quickly and find him.
We did this to ourselves, guys.
Yeah, we've no one to blame but ourselves.
We need to get some running backs though.
Yeah, we need to. What we need maybe 2 more running backs.
Yeah, we need 2 more running backs.
DFS Texas. I was trying to figure out why he said he goes unsubscribes from stealing signals. I think he thought I said elite back. I was trying to say lead back. Lead. he
Devin Singletary is an elite running back.
I do like Moss's profile more, but he tended to play ahead of Moss.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think Singletary's probably the lead back there.
They both play, obviously.
They both play, yeah.
Zanks, don't try to justify the snipe. Don't be a slave to the ranks. Be an independent thinker, man. Go rogue every once in a while. That's how you feel alive.
Yeah, man.
Pat was trying to get us to draft Rager, 4 rounds ahead of ADP. Just
I was just sitting here listening to some really sharp points. That's all.
Yeah, and Kevin makes a good point too. Singletary doesn't get the high value touches at all. That's why you like Moss more. But still, a guy who's a lead back who's probably going to get 10 touches, even when they're, in the 12th round of a best ball. I don't know. There's upside too if they win more games, they run more, whatever.
All right. Who's he going to be? Pick a running back on the board, guys.
We got nothing, man. There's nothing.
Jesus tits. It's J.D. McKissick. He caught 90 balls last year. Is he going to catch balls again? What did he catch? 85?
He is the type of back we need with this build at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't love it, but he caught.
Where's Gus Edwards? Is he still around?
Gus already went. He went a long time ago. I think in like round 10.
Oh wow,
that's exciting.
Yeah, or round 9. Chris took him in round 9.
Actually, pretty good. I just thought he was going way later, but I was like, no, that's fine.
What's your take on him? Because like I see a guy who's not going to catch any passes. He's only going to split the sort of the low value rush attempts. The TDs go everywhere because Lamar can run them.
No, we're not talking about J.K. Dobbins. We're talking about Gus Edwards.
What's your take on Edwards?
That he's basically cheap J.K. Dobbins, and
yeah, fair.
Yeah,
and the efficiency will be there. We know that the RBs will be more efficient because of Lamar.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll both be very efficient, and you're getting a pretty big discount compared to Dobbins. I assume his ADP is not the 9th round. That maybe Chris is doing something because Chris has also got Bateman. Maybe he's got a Baltimore thing going.
Yeah, Marquise Brown, Lamar, and Andrews. Yeah,
there you go. So he's doing a Baltimore onslaught, which I kind of like. But maybe in the 10th or 11th round, if he falls there, at that point, he seems like a great pick to me. In half-point PPR, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I guess half-point definitely helps. I wonder what his weekly upside is because it's like 10 carries. He kind of has to hit like a long run to get enough yardage and score to even get to like double figures because he's not really catching anything.
It's a potent offense though for, as much as we've kind of, we've had our arguments about Bateman and all this stuff, but like the offense does score points.
It scores points. That's very true.
Yeah.
Are you saying you guys prefer Ravens in best ball compared to managed leagues?
I was saying it without saying it.
Tell me you prefer someone in best ball.
Can we start scrolling through the running backs now to try to figure out if we can find something?
The offense scores points really is tell me he's better in best ball without saying he's better in best ball.
Yeah.
Then give us a boots on the ground, Rashad Penny. We toss him in with Russ and Lockett. Tell me a story, Ben. Tell me a story.
Tell me a story.
I mean, he was never healthy last year, and now he's healthy. Yeah, I can see it. That's my story. I can see it.
That's a great story.
It's too short. I need more of a hero's journey.
Yeah, Ben, give us some setup.
What did Carson sign for? He got kind of a decent deal, didn't he? I'm pulling up his contract right now because he was a free agent. They brought him back, obviously. It gave him 2-year, $10.4 million, 5.5 guaranteed. That's actually pretty solid for a running back, but it's not amazing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, Penny still has draft capital in his pocket. That's about the only story you can tell. But before he got hurt 2 years ago, he was starting to come on and was really good for like 2 games, like really good. And then he got hurt, and then he was hurt all last year.
Do we have to? Let's take Zach Wilson. This is disgusting. I don't care.
We can take Zach Wilson and be done.
Yeah,
with
let's take Wilson. Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
All right. We're done at quarterback.
Nice.
So we now
see what we did. We put them in the queue. Then we talked about everything about the quarterbacks, and no one sniped us.
That's how you play it. So we have 4 more picks. Construction wise, I mean, I say we're looking at, what do we need? 2 more wide receivers, 2 more running backs.
Probably a couple more backs with this build.
I think we need 2 more running backs.
2 more running backs. We're just trying to win a 12-team league. I would say if this was Best Ball Mania, I would maybe even just want to do 1 more running back. But
sure,
in a 12-teamer, probably 2 more, I think. And then, 2 more wide receivers too.
Hey, and now Penny goes. You guys got me, telling my very short story, but excited about Penny.
We had 0 interest in him. We were just trying to sucker Willis into taking him.
Yeah.
That story was good enough. Yeah, you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, the story was, I can see it, and you still fell for it.
I saw a running back that I like here.
All right. Don't say him.
Okay, we're about on the clock. Clay. Wow, I'm going to try to guess. Okay, we're on the clock. I'm going to try to guess which running back Ben wants. Savan?
I mean, I would take him in a little bit, but I was thinking Cohen. I mean, he just tore his ACL. Talk about a guy whose situation didn't change.
What about Coleman?
Oh, I'm down with that too.
Could be a starter. Be a starter.
All right, we can wait on that though.
God damn it.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Fine. You want? Done.
I'm down with Coleman. Yeah, I'm down with that. Cohen, to me, I would probably prefer over McKissick. He had a little bit of a longer track record as a productive player. McKissick is a guy who just kind of emerged last year.
Why is Coleman free?
Coleman, I don't know why he's free either. That's weird.
I mean, he's not very good, but talk about an ambiguous backfield. I don't think Michael Carter's necessarily. He's a 4th-round pick. Like, he's not locked into a starting job here.
That's a good point. You could totally see Tevin Coleman opening up the season with 13 to 15 touches a game.
For sure.
Yeah. 100%. They brought him over from San Francisco. Like, I haven't understood this price on him all offseason either. It's weird.
He seems like a guy that should be going 8th round, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But instead, he's free. So
I don't even know if it would be disgusting. I think I might take him there.
That's true. I'd probably talk myself into it.
Yeah. Carter went in the 4th round?
Yeah, that's absurd. Right? That's absurd.
Yeah.
The 4th round, we don't have that kind of certainty about this backfield at all.
Yeah. P. Ryan was a 4th-round pick. We don't like him either, but people are really excited about Michael Carter.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Carter went in the 4th round of this draft.
No. In the NFL draft.
Okay, yeah. Where did he go in this draft? I literally just got angry at everyone in this room. How could you let this happen?
Let's see. So Sermon went in the 7th, and where's Carter? Where's Carter? Anyone see him?
I don't see him. Was he? No, there he is. 8th round.
8th round.
Okay. Nah, that's fine. I don't hate that.
All right.
James Robinson's still going in the 8th round, holding strong. Even with people are buying the Herb's going to be using ETN like
Herb.
Percy Harvin.
You call him Herb?
Everybody calls him Herb, apparently.
Everyone calls him Herb. Okay.
Look, I had a lot of dudes in my mentions last week. I tweeted about Jacksonville, and they were all calling him Herb. I read Herb 75 times.
Yeah,
Ben,
what happened? You pissed off Jag's Twitter.
One of their guys in Jag's Twitter quote tweeted it, and it's so funny because the whole thing that he wrote, I addressed in the reply tweets. I was just sort of stream of consciousness. I wrote three tweets. But he took.
Ben, you have to put a 1 and then a dash and then a number at the end.
I know. I should have done that, I guess. But then the Jacksonville Twitter got going. It was fun. These guys. There was a lot of misspelled words in my mentions. A lot of.
Did that guy draw a photo on your forehead?
Yes, he drew I was laughing so hard at that. I don't even know what his point was, but it was the jaggiest thing ever. He made it.
Yeah, isn't that how hair works? I wasn't even sure what he was saying.
Imagine I've done fun photoshops. You make a meme and stuff. It's fun, but imagine being angry in downloading Ben's profile picture, going into some photo app, angrily drawing a squiggly line,
posting that, and it's being yes, this is a bird.
Look how your hair's parted.
I know, it was such a weird, and it was so bad that he did the little took the time to do the drawing.
Yeah, it was so funny.
All right,
what are we doing? So
that was my favorite burn of all time on Twitter, by the way. I was laughing. I just quote tweeted it with laughing emojis, but I was literally crying, laughing so hard.
I do have a wide receiver that we should add with our Russ double stack. We can get the Dwayne Eskridge.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you think of that?
Sure.
And then it seems like we have no one. Everyone's done taking running backs except. Come on, why won't it let me draft you? Seems like we have our options here with running back still. I mean, Jeff Wilson isn't the worst late flyer. Probably have a game where he scores 3 touchdowns. Pay off.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
You guys, and he might go, but you guys kind of dodged the Cohen pick. What do you?
No, I was going to mention him. If Pete hadn't brought up Eskridge, I was going to suggest him there.
Okay.
Suggest who?
Cohen, because he came back. Ben had suggested him before, and then he came back.
We all know Montgomery wasn't actually that good. He was good because of a late season schedule, especially if he's not effective early. But it might just be the case that Cohen comes back and runs his routes that he was running.
What about Damian Williams? Where do you guys feel compared to Cohen and Williams?
Oh, there we go. That's what I wasn't thinking of. I forgot kind of for a sec that they have Williams there.
Wilson then?
Is Cohen has caught a lot of balls so far in his career. They've used him exclusively as a piece of their offense, an electric sort of change of pace. And then all he did was tear his ACL last year. It's not I mean, 79 catches the year before, 71, 53. Those are his other 3 career seasons. Like he's averaging 65 catches a year or more. It's hard to not take that in this round.
Who's he going to be?
I'm good with going.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, Williams got cut. Like he might not make the team.
Yeah, he's like 30, but he could play. He could be a problem for Cohen, but Cohen's going to catch 50 balls. Maybe not 65, but I think he's catching 50.
So do we have any like stacks we need to fill out with this last pick or?
I mean, we have the Wilson, Coleman, and Mims with the Jets. We have the Russ, Lockett, Everett, which
Eskridge.
I think. Oh, and Eskridge. Yeah. So I think we're good on Seattle.
Yeah.
Definitely
good on Seattle.
I think we can just get our favorite wide receiver flyer to close this out.
Yeah.
I heard how much you guys love Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys are the wide receiver whisperers.
What about Jacoby Myers?
I don't mind that. Where's he going?
Cephas.
Oh,
He's bad either.
Willis.
Cephas is at the top of the list right now. I don't mind him. Like he was a pretty productive player at college.
Yeah, he just like 4.7 speed, but he was kind of productive.
He's gonna go before we pick. I won't crush our dream.
I mean, it's gross, but Randall Cobb shouldn't go in the last round. Like they literally don't have receivers. Like I swear to God, people think Houston's not going to play football this year. I promise they're going to line up and run snaps and play games. He's their number 2. All they have is Brandon Cooks and Cobb.
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure they're going to run snaps?
They might not. They might forfeit.
They're going to trail in every game. They're going to throw.
They're bad. Yeah, I'm good. I think Cobb's actually like really nice.
You can't take him at this. Like he shouldn't go this late. I don't want to draft him, but good Lord.
Yeah, let's put him in there and then see him get sniped.
Yeah.
All right. You want to?
Let's watch him get sniped.
Here, let's put these 2 in here. They're all yours, guys. Put them in the window for you shoppers.
Oh, Kendrick Bourne, Pat's favorite. That's another good one.
Oh, he's so bad.
Tennessee is the other team that like they're gonna have to have a number 2 receiver. It might be Des Kirkpatrick, but he was a day 3 guy. It might be like Marcus Johnson or Chester Rogers, these like former Colts cast-offs that they have now.
Is there like I can pretty much think of every team and like at least one guy or something that I'm excited to watch for fantasy purposes this year. I can't get excited about anything on the Patriots. Like absolutely nothing that excites me. Can you think of anything?
I'm excited for Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's going to be fun. I think he's going to be shifty and he's going to be big and he's going to get some touchdowns and he's going to catch a few passes.
When is Bill
Belichick out of the ball
ever given a running back that they've taken with that kind of draft capital anything meaningful in the beginning of his rookie year?
I'm not saying he's going to like be a workhorse. He's going to have a Rex Burkhead role. He's going to be Rex Burkhead, but big.
All right. So to answer my prompt, you're saying you're firing up Red Zone. No, you're actually going to go over to Game Pass and you're going to watch the Patriots just to see Ramondre Stevenson's 4 touches.
Yeah, I'm going to type in Ramondre and watch his 4 touches, and he's going to make a little nifty move on a dump off, and then I'm not going to watch the rest of the game.
I think I would say N'Keal Harry is the guy that I'm most excited about, and that's just how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to see.
I think Jacoby Myers can play, man. I hope Jacoby Myers is their slot guy and actually has a nice season because I'm rooting for him. At this point, he's been good, and to sign freaking Kendrick Bourne to block him is just not cool.
All right, Cephas guy just fell right into our laps.
Wow, you guys let us have him.
Is that who we're taking?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
I don't care either. I brought him up, but like I don't care. Like Cephas is the same pick as Cobb, but with less target certainty. They're gonna not be a great passing game either.
My prompt wasn't who could have viable fantasy seasons. It was just purely talking about who you get excited to watch. I just can't imagine being excited.
I mean, Aguilar obviously would be the top wide receiver there, but
is he the top skill position player there? Who's their starting running back? Do they have
Damian Harris?
Damian Harris. That's who we're going with as the highest drafted player that's not going to be good.
I guess where's Henry going?
Where does Harris go?
Henry and Jonnu go like back to back, mid late.
Harris went in the 9th. Does Sony Michel even get drafted, or like do
Sony
people
Michel
just give
might
up
get
on that?
cut. Sony Michel probably shouldn't get drafted.
All right. Should we do some team reviews here?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Clay wants us to review. It sounded like J.K. Dobbins was a timeout from him in round 4. Saquon, DK, CEH, Dobbins, Sutton, Devonta Smith, Hurts stack with them, Goddard, Fant, Mooney, Fields there, Latavius, Traquan, Emmanuel Sanders, Daz Newsome, Jameis, Anthony Miller, Mac Hollins. Thoughts?
I think my favorite part about this team is Goddard, Fant, 8-9, and then you just go 2. If you're not going elite tight end, obviously not everyone can. I like that. I think that's a nice way to just get tight end taken care of. Wide receiver starts to cool off a little bit there.
You know what?
And the Fields, Mooney.
I'm going to go to the different view. I was going to see, let's do like team view like this. Sorry, I think this is a little easier to tell.
Fields, Mooney, Daz Newsome it's a cheap stack. If Fields plays and if he's as accurate as, like, for instance, I hope that he will be, because I've been pretty high on him. Mooney, somebody else is going to be good there. The Bears could actually have an interesting passing game, and it's easy to think they won't because they haven't for so many years. But if Fields is a good passer, even though he's mobile, they could put up some numbers in a way that guys like Mooney and Daz could be pretty useful.
I mean, strictly based on like where he spent draft capital, I think from construction standpoint, this is perfect as far as like the 3-4-9-2 with this kind of allocation.
Where did he get CEH?
He got CEH. What was this? Beginning of the 3rd.
303. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
he's going to be too. I mean, I don't know if he's going to rise. I don't want to make too big of a deal about it. But early on this offseason, he's one guy that every time I've done any of these drafts, I've been like, he's going too late. Like, we were telling ourselves that he's a first-round pick last year. They still used him. They still took him in the first round. They're still going to want to use him again this year. Like, the Kansas City running backs are going to score points. Is Darrell Williams like going in the 5th round? Because like, if he's going in the 3rd, then you probably should be taking Darrell Williams that high if you're that low on CEH.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Also, I have the same question as Phil here. What is the deal with Anthony Miller? Is he going to get like traded or cut or what?
I think they're done with him. He's like one of these like guys who's deep in the doghouse. And
go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, it
seems like that he doesn't like show up to practice on time.
Yeah. That's the talk. Yeah. And there was some like ambiguous quote that was like, we don't need you. We don't like, now we're deep now. Like if you don't show up, we don't need you or something. And it was like, there's only one guy that would possibly be about. So I don't know. I think they're looking for someone to take his job.
All right. Chris wanted us to pull up his team. So we know he's got the Baltimore love here. Lamar Jackson, Daniel Jones, 2 QB build, 2 tight end build there with Mark Andrews and Herndon. 5 running backs, Akers, Eckler, and then 3 flyers, kind of Gus, Madison, Damian. And then Lamb, Woods, Judy, Marquise Brown, Bateman, Rager, Elijah Moore, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney. This seems like a nice blend of vets, young breakouts, good construction here. I don't think there's any construction things I would change. What do you guys think?
I think it's interesting. I mean, I guess what I'd struggle with a little bit. Can you go down the tight end too? I just don't know that Baltimore is going to support this kind of passing volume that you'd want Marquise Brown, Bateman, Andrews.
Well, now you're bearish on the Ravens passing game, Pat.
I mean, truly, like, I'm not like putting my head in the sand on their how many passing attempts they're going to have. My argument is Bateman, 2-3 years down the line, we shouldn't be too worried about him from a dynasty perspective. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Like to get?
Yeah, I completely agree.
My thing is and I've said this now a couple times, I completely don't mind doing that in the Best Ball Mania. Just making a bet on the Ravens offense, fundamentally transforming, going like full Bills on us and just going nuclear.
Or even the other way that works is they don't transform, but Lamar has an amazing year on low volume, and every week you have the guy who's the good receiver with him, right?
Right.
And so,
but I think in a 12-team league, you don't need to do it. I mean,
didn't he have Gus as well?
Yeah.
I just don't know we're going to get like they're going to score points, but it's just hard for me to imagine Baltimore being the offense where you actually would want the tight end, 2 wide receivers, the running back, and the quarterback.
And the thing is,
League.
It's hard to get out of that habit. It's fun to use these $5 drafts as tune-ups for Best Ball Mania. Yeah. And so I don't blame anyone for wanting to draft like this because, we're all more interested.
Yeah, we should probably review these as if they're Best Ball Mania teams because that's why everyone was jumping in. They're all Best Ball Mania. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like no one was probably thinking about this league specifically like a 12-teamer.
Let's see. Burn Zone, Phil wanted us. So he had the Mahomes early with Fitzpatrick there. Joe Mixon, Mike Davis, Sermon, Carter, AJ Dillon. He was the one scooping up those rookies. Tyreek, McLaurin, Curtis, Devontae Parker, Marshall, Amari Rogers, Guyton, Callaway, Thomas, Troutman, Kmet. So my initial thing here is I would definitely transfer one of the Sermon, Carter to another wide receiver. Because I feel like this wide receiver crew really drops off quickly.
Yeah, and I was going to say that about the back half of the receiver core. When you're taking flyer receivers, you either want to really believe that they're very good, like the Sean point, that they're very good players, or if the Cobb stuff we were saying, like if there's a lot of targets there. Guys like Guyton wasn't very good last year in a lot of routes. Pat's mentioned this. His yards per out run, they were very empty routes, and they drafted a guy. Amari Rogers, we're not convinced has that great of a profile. Probably going to play some for the Packers, but might not be very good. Not one of the rookies that I'm really prioritizing. Callaway is another guy that I don't know that is particularly good by really any metric. He had one good game last year for DFS, but his season line was not very strong. So those last 3 picks, I think he probably could have done better at receiver there.
I do like the double stack with Fitzpatrick, and that's one thing that Leone's talked about where stacking's best when you can get 2 wide receivers stacked with your quarterback, and so
he's got the triple
McLaurin
too.
And Samuel's pretty nice
with Logan
Thomas.
That's
fun. That's nice.
That's very fun. Yeah,
and it is like if you're going to be drafting, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's either going to have an insane season or he's going to get hurt, and then your team doesn't win anyways. So might as well YOLO it with the stacks.
I like and Logan Thomas. Not really that expensive, despite having a pretty strong year last year. So it's a pretty nice triple stack there.
Yeah, I'm gonna like him in drafts this year, dude. Fitzpatrick is good for his pass catchers. I don't. What is it? Why is that not catching on? I don't know. Like he's been very good for several years now for his pass catchers. This is
kind of a perfect guy with Mahomes as your other quarterback because you only need him to slot in for probably 3-4 weeks or whatever.
All right. Yeah. DFS Texas also putting across. We'll keep looking at these teams. Dak and Trey Lance. I think that's a perfect kind of allocation there for quarterbacks. Going skinny at running back. Zeke, Carson, Mostert, Hines. That seems solid. Amari, Odell, Boyd, Pittman, Marvin Jones, Perryman, Hamler, Renfro, Lazard, Palmer, and then Kittle, Jarwin. I mean, I love this team.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And he's got a double stack with Dak plus Zeke.
Yep.
So nice exposure to the Cowboys offense, which is an offense where you could see all those guys hitting.
And then he has the double stack too with the similar one, Lance, Mostert, and Kittle, which is super nice.
QB, RB, tight end stacks are very interesting.
Those are kind of fun. I like that.
And I like how he filled out his wide receivers. He got some nice ones early and then just kept hammering it there. I mean, Perriman, Hamler, Lazard, Marvin, like those are all perfect best ball.
Are we feeling like Jarwin's going to pretty clearly be ahead of Schultz, or might they split time?
I don't know how to read that. I don't know how to read it.
I'm a little hesitant on late tight ends that I don't even know are necessarily going to play a ton because Schultz was pretty good last year as a pass catcher.
I love this because obviously he's banking on Kittle having a monster year, and then how are you breaking your tie on your second?
Right.
But I agree with you. I haven't been drafting either of Jarwin or Schultz, even though one of them's going to be relevant.
I almost prefer Schultz just because he was like kind of good last year. It wasn't great, but
I would actually say that there's possibilities where neither of them are relevant, which is where Gallup gets more involved. Lamb really breaks out. And then they're both playing, and they both end up with like 350 yards, and the tight end is also sort of devalued.
It's kind of like a Bills situation where it's just like...
Yeah, it could be a really interesting passing game. Bills is a great example. Really interesting passing game that just flows through the receivers, and we've seen that.
Belair has given the caveat that he is buzzed, so please judge accordingly based on the level of tipsiness here. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Gaskin, Edmonds, James Robinson, Darrell Henderson, Chuba Hubbard in the 0 RB build. Diggs, Brown, Chase, Chark, Corey Davis, Campbell, Van Jefferson, Brian Pringle. 3 tight ends, Ferkser, Gronkowski, and the man who's going to get so much offseason buzz, Kylan Granson.
What's the deal with Kylan Granson, Pat? I saw you take him in a bunch of rookie drafts.
Yeah, I'm ahead of the curve, Ben. That's the deal. No, there was a Josh Norris had tweeted out a clip from the Colts. They did like this YouTube thing, and Frank Reich comes in the draft room and is like, "Give me this kid Granson," and they're like basically like making fun of him based on how much he wants this guy. It's literally like me talking about Jalen Reagor or something. Like, he just got to have this guy. And then he's like an H-back type of dude. So it wasn't clear if he was going to be, what his role would be, but seems like maybe he'll be kind of a Trey Burton-y type for the Colts. The Colts utilize the tight end. Carson Wentz basically can't stop throwing at the tight end so much that it got him kicked out of Philly. So there's like a lot going for having a tight end in this offense that's cheap, and he's super, super cheap. So one of my favorite flyer stabs at the position.
Similar to the Dak Prescott Trey Lance combo that DFS Texas have. I love the Allen Trevor Lawrence combo there. I think if you're going 0 RB, I think these are like great running back options here as far as guys who are going to get some work, but also have paths to bell cow roles with injuries. Stud wide receivers there, and then kind of piecing
Can we
it.
Talk about Henderson real quick.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not doing these right now, but this is like pick 130.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What? There's no one else there. I mean, if Akers goes down, like all of a sudden Henderson's in a 2-3 game run where he's the guy, like immediately pays off his ADP. And then Malcolm Brown had a pretty big role last year at times. Like, I would imagine Henderson has a fair amount of what Brown had last year, and he was also himself somewhat involved.
And I'll just piggyback that point, which is perfect already, but we're going to a 17-week season. And we were talking in our chat a while back about, projections, and someone was saying, something about 270 touches or something. I looked it up, and there was like 6 backs that had 270 touches last year. Like, I do think we're progressing with the way that health is managed and stuff now towards teams being willing to just sit guys down for a week or two, especially in best ball. Like, my point is, how many backs are going to play 17 games? And I don't think there's going to be a lot. Guys like Akers, if he gets dinged up, it's a longer season. I expect those guys to get put down for a week. And then Henderson gets 20 touches, and you have a stud in your best ball lineup for 1 week. I mean, this is too cheap for a guy that is clearly a bell cow, I think, if Akers is out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who else would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, and can't you say that about almost all of these backfields? I mean, these are pretty, unless I'm missing something, pretty clean, like 2-headed backfields where
Carlos Hyde is going to ruin our day on that.
Which one?
He's in Jacksonville.
Oh, you think?
I think it's Bevel. He played Adrian Peterson a bunch last year. I think it's going to be 3-headed there.
Okay, you're probably right.
And Eno Benjamin is going to start when James Conner gets hurt.
It would be so incredible if Eno Benjamin ended up being a thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was there anyone else that wanted their team reviewed? We can check.
I love his wide receivers. Eric's wide receivers. I mean, come on, Diggs, Brown, Chase.
Yeah, I know. You gotta get some 0 RB teams mixed in there.
With the stack.
That is a fun top of the receiving.
Van Jefferson, man, I like him this year.
That's why I said top. That's why I stopped and said top.
I've been reading about him in these Substacks. I'm pretty hyped.
You can get him in Dynasty right now off the waiver.
All right, here you go, Willis. The Minnesota Miracle here. Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz. Little thin for 2 quarterbacks with those two, I think.
Yes.
Tight ends, Hawk and Irv. I think you could get away with that at
I think
tight
you can get
end.
away with that for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Irv's
going to be good this year. There's no more Kyle Rudolph. This is Irv season.
I would say with running backs here, I probably wouldn't take 2 Houston, and I probably would have only taken 5 here.
I probably wouldn't take 2 Houston.
What?
I don't know. That's very nice.
I will not take it.
What would you say?
I mean, what happened? Houston running backs.
I will say I think Lindsay going at pick 191 is absurd.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I was just like, you're right about that. Probably, I was just about to say I won't take a Houston running back in any draft all year because why? Like the offense dictates high value touches. They're not going to score points. They might not throw to their. I mean, maybe they throw to their backs enough. I don't know, but they also have Mark Ingram. Like it's just so gross. It's not. This is not what fantasy dreams are made of. But the price is okay on Lindsay.
Can we have the chat review our team since we're reviewing all of their teams?
All right, yeah, we're gonna put up our team and you review it. Everyone, we are gonna sit back and cross our arms while you guys peck away. I'll scroll down here. I'll read the team to you. Russ Wilson, Zach Wilson, Wilson Synergy at quarterback, Kamara, Javonte Williams, McKissick, Tevin Coleman, Tariq Cohen, Michael Thomas, Tyler Lockett, Chase Claypool, Laviska Shenault, Roll the Clip, Nicole Hardman, Gabriel Davis, Denzel Ariards Mims, Dwayne Eskridge, Quintus Cephas, Darren Waller, Gerald Everett. Talk to us, chat. Lockett, terrible pick because we sniped Clay. Tevin Coleman laughed my ass off.
Fair.
Tevin Coleman, steal of the draft. Okay.
Oh,
they're polarized. Look at these tiny ass QBs.
That's good. That's good.
That wins.
Good Wilson's come in small packages.
Oh, this is half PPR.
Hey,
fair enough.
You guys are the ones doing the editorializing. You can't just ask questions. Imagine if you guys said, Pete, review my team, and I just went, Kirk Cousins? 3 question marks, and then didn't say anything else. Weak RBs.
Yeah,
Pretty strong
especially in
for
half
us,
PPR.
Josh.
I was gonna say how much I love that we got both McKissick and Cohen. They're so. I still think pass catching backs are way undervalued especially in PPR, but in best ball because they string catches together. It's so game script dependent for those roles.
Yeah.
I don't even think the quarterback matters that much. Who your second quarterback was?
I enjoy Phil's comment here.
It is very curious.
Yeah,
Very curious.
that's
Weak
curious.
RBs, and yet we drafted too many of them.
Yeah, that's
It's
the life of zero running back tout. You get killed for drafting him in the first place, and then everyone thinks they're disgusting when you draft them. So
Oh man,
can't win.
drafting's so fun.
It's
It
the
is.
best.
That was a blast.
Always feels good. to
I
draft.
like that team, man. I'm excited for that team. A lot of
Me too.
second-year receivers. That could be explosive.
There it is. We've been all talking. Underdog is supposed to have the ability to name drafts coming soon. So to be able to go name these like ship chasing Wednesday date, and then we can go back and check in on some of these teams and see how we did. And we actually have tape to see how bad our takes were about which of these teams were good.
Yes.
Of course you like the Visca pick, Willis. I mean, we have to love the Visca
obviously.
pick. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? Any hot takes you got to get off your chest?
None for me.
I'm just surprised they let us take Visca. I mean, good lord.
Yeah, someone was building a Jacksonville stack. I forget who was that. Eric. Someone was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because he had Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen.
right.
Shark and James Robinson, I think, on that team. Yeah,
that's right. That's
how
right.
do you do a Jacksonville stack without their best player? I just don't get
Come on, Eric. What,
You also-
did we snipe you?
You get
How did you not get
the
this guy?
and you get the highlight reel equity. Although we're gonna have to see.
Mm.
Like we have to see if we're
No,
gonna
I
have
don't
a
think
new
we give the
reel.
highlight reel. We don't give it to other people though.
Oh, you're right, because that rewarded them sniping us like 4 rounds ahead on Visca last year.
Yeah. Thank you. On to the next one.
Your
Been
computer
pretty
held up.
stable. Yeah, this computer is it's good. It's good.
The
It's good
we'll
right now.
always have those 2 seconds at the beginning of the show where we saw your green screen. Willis is already
Little peek behind the
plotting his
curtain.
revenge.
Yeah, I love it. You know what's hilarious? If like Will's actually like really tilted the fact that we busted his balls for taking David Johnson and Philip Lindsay.
Well, here's the
And
thing.
now-
Willis is going to be my official accountant for my Monday morning Best Ball Mania streams. I've already seen the screenshots of the spreadsheet, so I wouldn't be surprised if Willis already has a list and he's making it draft. From 519, they said mean things about the Texans running backs.
What I hope is that he like is in the lab cutting up Game Pass footage of David Johnson and Philip Lindsay to prove us wrong, but actually we would win.
Maybe what we need to do is have a community highlight reel contest, and everyone could make their submissions for. This is my way of crowdsourcing my job. Make submissions to see who becomes this year's. We could have like a bracket,
100%.
It could be someone wants to make a Kylan Granson highlight reel. Knock yourself out. We'll put up a vote.
That's part of it. You got to make the highlight reel, but also it's got to be a player they were going to be excited to draft.
Exactly, because that's what it has. It has to be able to withstand going through FFPC drafts, underdog drafts, like throughout the summer. It has to be someone that we do want to go for.
Yes, exactly. It's got to be a target. It's got to be a good highlight reel. I love this.
Yeah, okay. This is good.
And I will share the here's another question. Do we want to keep the kind of quintessential music, or do we want to find a different track for this year?
I think some good options, not to answer your question and just go off on my own thing, but the rookie QBs will be good options. Get some Trey Lance highlights. I want to see some North Dakota State highlights.
Yeah, I'm open to QB, any position.
I keep forgetting what you're looking down at. I was like, what are you looking down at? And then I realized your monitor's down there. I think we could.
Yeah. No, I think
we'll formalize this.
I think the music could probably be different or the same. I don't know. I don't care.
Okay.
Maybe that's part of it too.
Well, but we need to use one of my royalty-free tracks so we don't get all these videos demonetized.
Good point. Yeah. Maybe just send out the music file in the Ship Chasing Discord, and then let's use that music.
Okay. Yeah. Also, I could actually share the site I use to look for music, because anyone can browse on it. And then if you have a track, I can just download it for you once you find one that you like. All right. We'll talk about this in the Discord. I love this idea of the highlight challenge here. Gretch, any final stuff?
No.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you to the new Ship Chasing members who signed up tonight. I saw a few of you guys in there. We'll see you in the Discord, and catch you guys later.